Okay, so now let's talk about the posterior cranial fossa, and as I have already told you, it is the deepest cranial fossa. So let's first talk about its boundary. Its boundary anteriorly, it is bounded by the superior border of the petrous part of the temporal bone. So now by this time you must know that this is the petrous part of the temporal bone and this is the superior border. So anteriorly it is bounded by its superior border. Posteriorly it is bounded by the squamous part of the occipital bone, and laterally lies the mastoid part of the temporal bone. This is the mastoid part. This was the mastoid part which you must have studied to the exterior of the skull. This is the mastoid part which is coming in its relation to the lateral aspect. Now again we are going to see the features which are present first to the midline and then to the lateral part. So onto the midline, this slopy area, which is formed by the part of the sphenoid bone and the part of the occipital bone, this is known as clivus. And this biggest foramen beta, this is known as foramen magnum. Now one important thing which you must know, that here comes the midbrain comes here in relation, which contains basically the pons and the medulla, because from the foramen magnum which we have discussed in the class, the medulla oblongata, here it passes through this, along with its meninges and medulla oblongata. It is the spinal cord, it is the continuation of the medulla oblongata. Okay, so this is the biggest foramen, which is the foramen magnum. Okay, this you can see here this thick crest like structure. This is this crest. This is the internal occipital crest, and this prominent part, this is the internal occipital protuberance. Likewise, you had the external occipital protuberance. Here you have internal occipital protuberance. Okay, and you can see here this fossa. When we go to the lateral part, this fossa, this is the cerebellar fossa. So it holds the cerebellum, which is also known as the small brain. Now you can see here the impression lateral to the internal occipital protuberance. This is the impression for the transverse sinus. Okay, so this impression, this holds the transverse sinus. Now when we go or when we trace it, this you can see here, I am tracing it, this area which comes in a relation with the mastoid part of the temporal bone. This impression is for the sigmoid sinus, and this sigmoid sinus, again I am tracing it, and now the probe which is inserted. So this foramen is known as the jugular foramen. This foramen is known as the jugular foramen. Now again let's talk about, okay, once again I am tracing it or showing to you people. This foramen is the jugular foramen. Okay, now again coming to the petrous part of the temporal bone, here you can see one opening, this opening where the probe is inserted. This is the internal acoustic meatus. This is the internal acoustic meatus. Let me show you from this side also, where the probe is inserted. Now lateral to this internal acoustic meatus, this area, this is known as subarcuate fossa. This area is known as subarcuate fossa. Now we will see the condylar foramen, the anterior condylar foramen. So beneath this internal acoustic meatus, there is a foramen where the probe is right now inserted. This is the anterior condylar foramen or the canal. Oh, I am really sorry, that was the jugular foramen. And this. Okay, I'll insert the probe. Okay, this is the anterior condylar foramen. So that was the jugular foramen. That was the jugular. This was the internal acoustic meatus. Beneath it lies the jugular foramen, and beneath the jugular foramen, this is the internal condylar, anterior condylar foramen. So that was all about the feature of the posterior cranial fossa. Thank you so much.